Ugh, why would anyone like this game? I just don't understand. Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Gaming. I'm Chris Chappell. This is the 21st century, guys. We don't have time for discriminatory behavior. Lizzo is a queen. An African American is the richest man on the planet. And I can go to whatever bathroom I want. These are facts, and facts don't care about your feelings. Unless you hurt my feelings, then it's a hate crime. But the creators of Stellar Blade, Shift Up, are a South Korean gaming company, and they may have never seen Lizzo perform. So let's remember to be mindful today as we explore the controversy surrounding the recent release of the PlayStation 5 exclusive on April 26th. Because it isn't the developers' fault that they hate women, it's ours for buying the game. I personally only bought it out of outrage. The game was openly inspired by Nier Automata, a game I beat multiple times years ago. While I loved it at the time, I was shocked to find out from video game reporters that Nier Automata actually depicted women in an unrealistic way. So obviously I changed my opinion on Nier to be more politically correct. And so I couldn't believe that someone had the audacity to do the same thing again with a similar game. So, like the good feminist I am, I took a few days off work, loaded up the game, and locked my door to check it out for myself. And I'm ready to tell you why I'm so upset. Because just like I thought, and just like game reviewers have been saying all this time, there isn't a single woman in Stellar Blade who's half as ugly as the women I know in real life. As an article from Medium written in 2021 titled, "Why Making Female Video Game Characters Ugly is Actually Fantastic," states, "Women come in every shape and size, and they are under no obligation to beautify themselves to appease strangers. And some video games, like Horizon Forbidden West, have done a better job at realizing this than others." With the author writing in relation to the protagonist of that game, her looks are consistent with someone who doesn't have access to a billion-dollar beauty care industry, nor the time and priorities to focus on keeping her skin youthfully soft and glowing. Her argument then being that the choice to make the protagonist of Horizon look like your aunt created more immersion as it reflected how ugly women naturally are without the help of modern cosmetology and extreme effort. Yet, once again, immersion is ruined as a video game comes out where the main protagonist, Eve, sets out unrealistic expectations of beauty that no woman could ever attain. Well, except the real-life Korean model Shin Jae-eun she's based on. But we can't let these actual beautiful people make us feel bad about our own lack of hygiene. Traditional archetypes of beauty must be deconstructed so they no longer oppress those of us who can't live up to the ridiculous expectation that society places on us. Like that we have to brush our teeth every day. Who has time for that when there are rallies to attend? But credit where credit is due. Stellar Blade does represent body positivity through the so-called enemies, who take on all body shapes and sizes. In fact, who's to say these monstrosities trying to tear down human society aren't the ones who are really beautiful? Certainly not activists on college campuses. Beauty is a social construct. It's entirely subjective. Unless, of course, you think this is beautiful, in which case you're wrong. Stellar Blade shifts from the style of Nier Automata in that, although stylistically and artistically similar, the combat is much slower and more focused on responding to cues than was in Nier. You'll be evading, blocking, dodging, and teleporting around the field. However, the button mashing will be less than fans were expecting. Reviewers generally agree that whether they prefer faster or slower combat, it does feel responsive, and the character of Eve does feel like she has some weight to her, not simply defying gravity as sometimes happens in similar combat-type games, but doing a good job of making it feel like contact is being made with the surfaces around you. Now, some supporters of the patriarchy are saying it's actually a well-made game that takes itself seriously. The musical score is moving, the cinematics are intense, and overall the game is put together well. Dark Soul influences possibly leak out here and there, however the combat system can certainly be called unique and most people who play it seem to enjoy it, with the game receiving generally good reviews. These people are all wrong, of course. Well-made games are not what modern audiences want. They want ideological messaging, taking a face model and freeing her from the traditional standards of beauty. Perfection. In a recent interview done by IGN, Yoko Taro of Nier Automata and Hyung-tae Kim of Stellar Blade sat down to discuss the similarity and differences between their games, with the translation of the interaction depicting two mild-mannered men with a great appreciation for each other's work and an appreciation for the characters they've designed. At one point, Kim even jokes, "The girl at that shop is cuter than the main character. I guess we need to make her the main character in our next game." Ugh, utterly disgusting. However, realizing that this interview is not in English perhaps raises questions about if it's even fair to extend our Western values onto these men. Some of us have never been to Japan or Korea, and maybe they have a different relationship with feminism than we do, based around different cultural norms that maybe we don't understand. After all, we in the West may have the best values, but can we really expect everyone to see that their views on women are backwards without having lived here first? In the same interview, both men connect on the fact that they were both influenced heavily by Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of the first anime to get widespread recognition outside of Japan, and a cult classic to this day. This anime is the influence for the bodysuit in both games then, and the stories, with Yoko Taro stating that Nier is pretty much just a retelling of Evangelion, and with multiple endings being created due to the widespread demand from the fans, and remakes still being made as recently as this year. Are we really prepared to say we understand the history and influences of these games, what they mean to the people of Japan and Korea, enough to judge them and the people who made them? Of course! How else would they know how to properly respect women if we in the West don't tell them? They need to learn how to be accepting by force if necessary. Take, for example, Hyung-tae Kim's wife, renowned video game artist Ji-yoon Chae, who is so confused that she's been gaslit into drawing unnaturally sexy depictions of women for both Stellar Blade's concept art and her husband's other major gacha-style game, Nike, which in 2023 surpassed $400 million in revenue and became one of the world's most popular gacha phone games, showing that the objectification of women sells, and even women themselves are complicit, demonstrating once again the destructive nature of men. The poor, misguided woman. We can only imagine the horrors she's been through to look like the characters in her husband's game. She's probably starving. I can understand why people fear this future. A future where Ben Shapiro's sister is loved for all the wrong reasons, and Western women can no longer compete with the plastic surgery cyborgs of South Korea in the traditional dating market. Now, as a cis male, I don't want to speak for all women. But speaking for all women, I can hear their cries for equity and lowering dating standards. Eve should have a mustache because I have a mustache. Eve should be fatter because I'm fatter. Eve should look like me because I'm real, because I'm sexy. Because even though I didn't make the game, I deserved this. Even in your country, with your history, with your female artists, I am the standard. I am beauty. My voice will be heard. I am justice. I am a woman. I am Lizzo. And if the game developers of the East don't start realizing that their seemingly popular views on women are wrong, I will find a way to get the government to make my opinions law. Thank you for watching Deep Thoughts While Gaming. And remember, some people look at the world and ask why. I look at the world and scream perpetual cultural revolution! And to all you allies watching, help me fight capitalism by giving me money. Click that join button to become a channel member. You'll be supporting more episodes of Deep Thoughts While Gaming and get access to an exclusive Discord server, live streams, videos, emojis, and my own personal Stellar Blade mod that replaces Eve's head with mine. And click here to watch the Deep Thoughts While Gaming about Nier Automata and the military-industrial complex.